What's up guys, welcome back to once again another video, and today we're talking all about frogs. Just similar to jigs and crankbaits and basically every other bass fishing lure out there, there are so many different variations. You can find yourself lost walking down store aisles thinking, which one should I buy? When would I throw it? How would I use it? Can I even catch a fish on a frog? Do I have the right equipment? Well, today I'm going to break all of that down for you guys, and I hope you guys get something out of this. So, for the most part, there are three different kinds of frogs out there. There is your normal frog. Basically, every brand makes their own normal kind of frog. There is the popping frogs, and then there is the specialty type of frogs. And by specialty, some of them aren't even frogs. This is a mouse. And they make ducks, and they make birds, and they make sunfish, and they make everything. They make everything out there to try to get you to buy something. And for the most part, I'd say it's a gimmick. But more on that later. So when do you throw frogs? Well, for the most part, I would say you throw frogs anywhere. I mean, if you're in the Midwest, I'd say early May to late September. You can get a topwater blow up on a frog. Really just depending on what body of water you're fishing, what kind of stuff that bass eat around that area, and all sorts of stuff like that. So now we're gonna kind of break off, and I'm gonna tell you guys about when you would use just a normal hollow body frog. And for the most part, this is just my go-to. If I'm fishing any time that I would be throwing a frog in general, I'm just gonna pick up a hollow body frog for the most part. That is, unless they're like super aggressive. But and you can still catch them when they're super aggressive. But just for the most part, I just use a simple hollow body frog. And something that people get all too serious about, I would say, is color. The color of a frog. Well, what's the top look like? Well, it's black. But what's the bottom look like? It's white. Well, what are the bass going to see? Are they going to see the top of it more, or are they going to see the bottom of it more? Of course they're going to see the bottom of it more. So really, when I'm out there trying to buy a frog, I'm only looking at what the bottom looks like. And I guess the tail, if you want to get really into it. But, so what are the bottoms imitating? Well, this one's black, this one's white. So what's the black one imitating? Well, for the most part, I would say, I'm not even sure what the black one would be imitating. Maybe a sunfish, like a dark bluegill sunfish, or some type of bird that fell into the water. And in general, I just use the darker colors for darker water situations, while in the clearer water situations, or if there's a shad spawn or some sort going on, I'll just switch over to the white. And of course, if you're in a real froggy area, you can pick up a booyah toad and go to work, because it actually has a green body or a yellow body in there, which would actually imitate a real frog. And so that kind of breaks down color for you guys. And for the most part, the main technique that I'm going to be using is a simple walk the dog technique, where you just slowly twitch your rod and the frog walks right back to you. I'm no expert on frog fishing, but I know that's just like the best technique in terms of, am I trying to get bit? Do I, working it slow, working it as hard as you can, just irritating those fish is probably what will get you the best bites. Now, switching over to the popper is a little bit more aggressive. So if you're gonna be throwing the popper, I'd say like late spring, when they're truly aggressive, they're trying to feed up, I would say throw the popper, work it like the walking the dog, spitting that water back and forth will work really great for you guys. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the popper. It's not a huge difference from a normal frog. In general, they look the same. They pretty much fish the same. You can walk the dog on both of them. It's just that the popper is going to be a little bit more of an aggressive technique just because of the splashing of the water. And then moving on to the specialty lures. For the most part, I would stray away from using specialty lures. Unless you're in like a privately stocked pond where you can throw wacky stuff, for the most part I'd say the wacky stuff is just a no-go, because of the areas that you're going to be frog fishing are most likely going to be pressured just because of how much people like top water. People will go all across the lake in order to find a spot that they can use topwater lures in, which is probably going to be around vegetation and stuff. So when you're actually around the vegetation, you're going to want to be throwing the real deal and not, you know, some gimmick that is going to take in water faster than you can throw it out there. And for the most part, what are they going to see? They're going to see the bottom of the lure, which is just white, which is, you know, it leads to what's going to be white is like maybe a squirrel or shad or something of that sort. So might as well just throw the real deal when they basically look the same here. Brand favorites. If I was going to go to the store right now and pick one frog up to put fish in the boat, what would I pick up? Well, overall, I would say the Booyah frogs. They're very soft. They're very easy to get good hookup ratio with that hook exposure. And it's just all around, it's going to have all around good hookup ratio. You can walk the dog with a Booyah frog. It's going to last you a while. And you can find it at like basically any Walmart for like $7, which is pretty crazy when you compare it to, for example, an Ishmonroe fat frog, which is probably going to run you upwards of $10, $11, which is kind of crazy considering it is just a hollow body frog. As for gear that you would run it on, this is when you're going to want to be breaking out your heavy rods, your 7.6s, your 7.3, heavy, fast action, your fast reels, your 8-to-1s, your 7-to-1s, 30 to 60 pound braid depending on exactly what frog you're throwing. This way, when you get that bite, you can just get a great hook set in them, reel them in, just don't even take time reeling them in. Reel them in as fast as you can, get them in the boat, just because of how easy it is to lose a fish or not get a good hookup ratio on a frog. It's one of those baits where when you throw it out there, you're like, it could be a 20 incher, or, you know, a 5-pounder anytime you're throwing it out there. So you really don't want to dilly-dally with the fighting and all that, just because of bass to boat ratio is probably just not very good. And as for size, I would keep it simple. They make tiny frogs, they make medium-sized frogs, and they make huge frogs. I would just say stick to medium, keep it simple. Unless you're, you know, going out there trying to catch 10 and 12 inchers, then you could go down to the baby frog. But as for the most part, I would say the medium frog should get the bass that you actually want in your boat. And overall, that's pretty much all you need to worry about with size-wise. So I hope you guys learned a little bit in this video, breaking down the 3 different types of frogs. Like I said, keep it simple. Buy the medium-sized Booyah frogs. Get you a white one, a green one, and a black one. You'll be set for all your case scenarios that you could be in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I come out with new videos every Friday at 3 p.m. This upcoming season should be really special because I will be throwing in tournament videos throughout the summer, spring and fall, and some ice fishing videos should be coming up soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.